Hi everyone. Oh, that was a bit of a croaky start. I'm a bit close up. Got a bit of a bigger picture on today. You can see where my hair is an issue. And I'm making it worse. Yeah, making it worse. So I'm just going to leave a hook on my head. Right. Sorry for the delay on my Soul Urge 8 compatibility video. There's a lot to think about in that video when it comes to compatibility and lots to meditate about in order to get the intuition that I need to ensure that I'm correct. But lately, well, perhaps I should start at the beginning. I don't know about any of you guys, but have you ever wondered that if my thoughts or my inner world was put out on a video and played to the world, you know, I would probably be put away, beaten up. I probably wouldn't have any friends, much family. I sort of thought to myself, oh my goodness, if people could see the deep down inner me that no one will see or ever see, they, yeah, I just would be a reject in the world, and people would think I'm either nuts or I need to be put away, or I'm just not worth having as a friend. Now, I'm hoping you guys, since reconnecting with the Enneagram, would feel the same. Like if I was to play your inner thoughts to the world, what do you think the world would do and say to you? We probably all feel, well, I like to hope it to a certain extent, not that I want us to have issues, but you know what I mean, that I'm not the only one that thinks, oh, good God, if people could hear what I'm saying or know what I'm thinking, they'll think I'm crackers, nuts, and haul me off to the fruit farm. Um, but I started studying the Enneagram at the same time as numerology many years ago. But numerology resonated with me straight away, which is why I specialised all those years ago. The Enneagram at the time didn't resonate with me because when I did, numerology, you count up the numbers and you know you're correct. With the Enneagram, it's very, very deep. It's very about your emotions, and it's very about thinking what your core fears and what your core motivations are. So I did multiple tests. Oh, every test I could find. Some of them 100 questions long. And every single one of them typed me that I know now, I didn't know at the time, they typed me slightly wrongly. They got my numbers the wrong way round. So when I read all the information for my type, I resonated a little with it, but not enough for me to think, right, I'm going to take this forward. But I did learn about all the types and all that, but I just didn't take it forward. So recently, I looked back at the Enneagram just while I was relaxing with a cuppa, and this amazing woman came on. She's from the Enneagram channel, so look her up on there because she's from America, but she had this 3-question test which blew my mind and showed me what my type definitely is. And then when I read my real type, I was like, oh my God, it is like my life has just been put out on the video screen on this type, and this is me. But then I thought, well, this is a type. So there's got to be other people that are not exactly like me just because they're an Enneagram 8, but maybe have the same ish thoughts, motivations, and deep inner world ish as I did. And maybe they wanted the same things as me, or maybe they feared the same things as me. I'm not a nutter. I realise that actually the thoughts I have and the fears I have are completely 100% linked to my Enneagram type. And I found this, and it was lately that I reconnected with this. This is why I rushed to get a video together for you guys. Even though I've been cram-packed with readings and with my aloe vera business, it's been sort of difficult to keep it all together. But I was so like, what I found out and how it made me feel. I want to say validated, but the Enneagram isn't about validating you and making you think, right, well, that's just me, I'm going to stay as I am. It's about evolution, and it's about trying not to be that person. But I think the validation for me was that there are other people that have those similar reactions to me, so that I'm not some kind of nutcase, which was so enlightening for me that I was really, really desperate to share this video with you guys so that you can spend some time maybe figuring out that your inner world isn't mad. You're not a loony. You're not going to be put in a loony bin or called a psychopath, or lose all your friends and family if they find out who you are, that you're different in some way. You will find after you have worked through them slowly. It's really important that you really think about these, because in the first question especially, you will see maybe more than one that relate to you, and that's fine, you know, circle those numbers, but we will get to that. Right, so I need to move slides. So as I've said, the Enneagram, whereas numerology is very about your life purpose, which I love, your talents and how you can use those talents to achieve your soul's life purpose. The Enneagram digs down that little bit deeper, and it sort of helps you, well, it exposes the inner you, which I found so enlightening and validating enough to think, okay, I'm normal. Now I can think, how can I do things differently so my thoughts aren't quite so negative, or I don't feel that way, or I don't think that way, you know? So it's always an evolution. But the fact that it was validated that it is normal to have those fears and anxieties or beliefs or delusions, as I'm about to call them in a moment. With the Enneagram, we have all the numbers within us to a certain extent. So when you're doing the test, you may at times think, yeah, I'm a bit of that one though. And you're going to spend time thinking, oh no, this isn't good. You know, how am I going to know? How am I going to get this right? But it's just about spending some time and thinking about the questions. Okay, answering all three questions, taking your time, pausing the video, even going back the next day, because sometimes one of the questions, question 3, I think it was, took me, it took me a few days to really be honest with myself, to be perfectly honest, and think, yeah, that really is the one that resonates with me. And if I'm honest with myself, that is how I am. So yeah, take your time with these. They're 3 questions, but they're quite in-depth questions, and they will get you to really think about how you react to things, how you feel about things, and what are your biggest desires, you know, because some of them you're going to find that you relate to more than one. But think, which are my biggest core desires and fears? You know, which ones take up most of my thoughts? So take your time to think about each question. Okay. So, right. Shall I talk about the personality? I think that's quite valid. Yeah. So personality. Okay. So you can't have a personality unless you have a self and a world, or an environment for the self to interact with. Okay. Understanding your core beliefs about yourself and about the world will help you figure out what your type is. Okay, so whatever you believe about the world and whatever you believe about yourself will help you to really, really know what your Enneagram type is after you've answered these 3 questions. let's move on. Right, so before I move on to telling you about all those fears, I'm going to tell you which numbers relate to what. So I'm not used to having, in fact, I might go to the small picture again because I keep moving and my head's like this. That's not good. Let's go the other way, actually. Yes, better. Right, so this is the Enneagram. This is what it looks like. So it goes obviously 1 all the way around to 9. And if you see the 3 that are coloured red at the top, they are the anger type. So the challenger, the peacemaker and the reformer are all the anger type. Okay. The 2, the 3 and the 4, the green group, are the shame type. Okay. And 5, 6 and 7 are the fear type. Now what I mean by that is their core is either anger, shame or fear. Now we've all got a bit of that in us, but we're thinking, which are the dominant ones here? Which take up most of our thoughts? Right. My screen isn't moving. Hey. Right, so limiting beliefs, definitely, but we call them, or the Enneagram calls them, delusions. Okay, so you can believe 2 things. You can believe the world is a better place than it is, or you can believe the self is better than it is. Okay, or the third group, there's a balance between the 2. Okay, you think the world and the self is better than it is. Okay, so I'm going to say that again. These are the 3 core beliefs to help you understand what I'm about to go through with you. So the world is a scary place, you know. If you think, well, it is to me, you know, the outside world can be a scary place and there's lots of challenges to deal with. But you can believe in your core that the world is a better place than it really is, or you can believe yourself is a better place or a better thing or a better human than you really are, or you could be balanced between the 2. Okay, now what I mean is the shame type, which is, let's go back here, the shame type, which is the helper, the achiever and the individualist, right? They think the world is a better place than it is. So they think they are deficient in some way. The world is good, they're deficient, and they've got to hide their shame in some way. You think you don't measure up. The world is all great and you're hiding away from shame, hoping you don't get found out. Okay, so you think the world is a better place than it is, but you don't think much of yourself. Okay, the fear type thinks the self is a better place or a better thing or human than it is, and it's the world that's deficient, you know. So this type has confidence in their abilities, which is a very, very good thing. So they use their abilities and strengths, or their perceived abilities and strength against the world to avoid consequences. So they think, you know, the world's rubbish. I've got to duck and dive and do whatever to make sure I can get through, because, you know, this world is so rubbish. I'm just not going to, you know, I'm just going to use my own wit and cunning to get me through. Okay, that is the fear type, because you fear that the world is deficient in some way. The anger type, now they think the world and the place is a better place, or that they're no. Get this right, it's getting late. The anger type thinks the world and the self are both deficient in some way, and they delude themselves. The anger group, which is, I haven't gone back for this one. So the fear group was the investigator, the loyalist and enthusiast. Okay. And the anger group, remember, is the challenger, peacemaker and reformer. Okay. So the anger group thinks both myself and the world are deficient, but they delude themselves that the world is fixable. You know, if we just do good things, the world is fixable and the individual can fix it. Okay. And they have an aggressive urge to use their power to change things. And these are the delusions that we hold to help us deal with the scary world that we live in. Right, now, pause this video and get yourself a paper and a pen, okay, or open a Word document, whatever is easiest for you. Now write 3 lines, as it is on this slide here, 1 to 9, 3 times below each other, with sufficient space so that you can circle numbers, okay? So pause this video, open a Word document, go and get a piece of paper and a pen, and when you've got that and you're ready, come back and we'll continue on. Right, now think of the top line, get your piece of paper or your Word document, whatever works for you, and think, which of these statements resonates with you? There's going to be more than 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 that you think, that does resonate with me. You know, I circled 4 when I first did this, so don't worry. I'm going to read each one through. Pause this video if you need to go through each one and think. Okay. As you think, yeah, that one resonates with me, go to the top line of your piece of paper or your Word document and circle that number on the top line, okay? Don't worry if you've got, 2 is good, but don't worry if you've got more than that, okay? Just try and have a think about it. Circling 5 is going to confuse you a little bit, so don't go any more than 4. Even 4 is a little bit too much, you know. Try and aim for 2 to 3 if you can, but spend some time really thinking, which are my top core desires and fears, okay? So number 1, you want to be good. You want to do things right. You want to have integrity. You know, you think that if everybody did the right thing, everything would be all right. Okay. If you think that and you fear being bad, or you fear getting things wrong, or you fear even being corrupt, or you fear breaking the law, then circle number 1. Okay. Number 2, if you have a strong desire to be loved and needed by others, and you find it difficult when you feel that you're not loved and that you're not needed, and you fear being unlovable, circle number 2. If you want to be valuable, successful, you fear being worthless and bringing nothing to the table. So when I say valuable and successful, I mean making a splash in the world. You're one of world's achievers. Are you the kind of person that you want to make a splash? You want to achieve, you want to be someone, and you fear being no one, and you fear being worthless or bringing nothing to the table? Then circle 3. Sorry, I've been told before that last time I coughed, I made someone jump. So I do apologise if my cough just made you jump into the ceiling. Anyway, I'll try and remember that and turn away from the mic. So number 4, you want to be yourself. That means you don't like wearing the same things as other people. You don't like watching the same programs as other people. You want to be an individual and you want to stand out. You want to be understood, though, for the individual that you are. As I said, you certainly do not follow the crowd, but you do fear having no identity, and you fear that you don't know who you are as a person and that you will have no significance as an individual. If that rings true, circle number 4. Number 5, you want to be capable and competent, and you fear being helpless and incompetent. So you may need to do a lot of learning and practicing, and you constantly want to learn and practice and learn so that you feel capable and competent, because that's your core desire, and you fear being useless, helpless and incompetent. If that rings true to you, circle the 5. 6, you want support and guidance and security. You want to know that there's someone round, someone there with you, family, friends, anyone that you feel that can support and guide you and bring you the security that you need. If that is a core desire and you fear being without support and guidance and security, then circle number 6. Number 7. You just want to be satisfied and happy, having a good time. You're quite hedonistic. You want to be free to experience everything. You're very positive. You're very full of life, but you hate negative emotions and you avoid them. You fear being trapped. You fear being in pain, and you fear being imprisoned, and you fear not having options. Okay, so if that's you, circle number 7. Number 8, you want to protect yourself from harm by others. You feel that the world, or anyone outside your fort could potentially attack you, and that you need to be strong and protect yourself and your family or anyone inside your fort from others. And you fear being harmed or controlled by people outside your fort that might want to hurt you, and you want to be strong so you can stand up against that, and you think about that a lot. Then circle number 8. Right, if you're a relaxed 9, you just want peace of mind. You want nothing more than to sit on the Sunday or a Saturday afternoon or any time you can, to be honest, and have peace of mind that everything is okay, there's no conflict, all is okay in my life. Sit with a beer and a curry or whatever it is they like to eat, and know that everything's okay. If you have that core desire and you fear loss, separation or disunity, then circle number 9. Okay, now if you need more time to think about this, or you need to rewind this video and listen to it again, please do so. Because I want you to feel that you've answered this question in the best way you can. And don't worry about how long it takes you to do that. Right, next question, question 2. Now only do this if you're ready, and question 1 is done and dusted and you're happy. Now we're on line 2 of your line of 9 on your paper, on your Word document, okay? But don't circle anything yet, okay? I'm going to read them out to you, okay? I want you to think in your head which one that you are. Now take your time again, pause this video if you need to. When you're sure of which one you want, okay, I will show you the next slide, which will show you which numbers to circle that relate to 1, 2 or 3. Okay, so I'll stop gabbling. So number 1, you're a forward planner. You like to look ahead. You like to set yourself goals, create a future ahead of you, build, plan, build methodically, execute what you want, take action and create your future. And you think about that a lot, and you're quite fast moving and you like always to move forward. If that resonates with you, just make a note on the corner of your paper, number 1, if you feel that you might forget it. Right. Are you more in the present, number 2? So you think more about the present task that you're doing. You really, really want to do tasks well. You worry that you're not pleasing others and that you're not good enough, or you're not doing a good job. It's all about what needs to be done now, and you very much depend on feedback from others. If that one relates to you, just note number 2 in the corner. Don't touch your line of 9 yet, because those numbers don't correlate with the line of 9, okay? Or are you 3? Are you do you like to think about the past? Are you one that likes to sit back and observe and ponder on the past? And do you like to reflect and reminisce? And do you think about the past the most? So are you 1, a future planner and a future thinker? 2, a present person, what you're doing now? Or 3, do you think about the past a lot and relate what you're doing now to past events? You reminisce, observe, ponder, and think about what's happened to you. Now, pause this video again if you need to, because I'm about to show you the answers and I don't want you to be influenced before you fully decided. So when you have a decision, 1, 2, and 3, okay, look at the next slide, but don't do it until you do. So if you don't know which one, pause this slide, okay? Right, I'm going to move on. So hopefully if you don't know which one you are, you've paused this video. Now, if you resonated with number 1 the most, on your second line on your Word document or your piece of paper, circle 3, 7, and 8, okay? If you resonated with number 2, circle 1, 2, and 6. Excuse me. If you resonate mostly with number 3, circle 4, 5, and 9. Okay, so when you've done that and you feel ready to move on, and you can pause this again if you need to, we'll move on to the very last question. Now this one I found the most difficult. Okay, excuse the family bashing on the door and goodness knows what. Right, now this is the Enneagram calls your center of intelligence. This is your initial response when things go wrong. Okay, so think about times in your life where, you know, things haven't gone to plan, things have gone totally up the spout, and you know, and you when that happens, what is that initial first reaction that you get when things go wrong? Excuse me. Right. Do you now remember, don't mark anything on your last line of 9 yet. If you feel you need to note the number down that you think you are, so that you remember, do that, but don't touch your last line of 9 yet, because these don't correlate. So if you 1, do you feel shame, heartbreak, blame yourself? There's something wrong with me. So something goes wrong and you think, well, that's my fault, you know, it must be something I've done wrong. Is there something about me? You know, what, you know, there must be something wrong with me. That's why this has gone wrong. I'm now shameful. I don't want people to know how rubbish I am, basically. Number 1, if that is your core feeling when things go wrong, note down 1. Note down 2, if you feel when things go wrong, you feel this element of panic. You're confused. You've got to think of what to do. You ask yourself, why did this happen? You think, what can I do now? Oh God, you end up going very into your mind and sitting and thinking, right, I've got to try and figure out what to do now. What do I do? And then you go into this quandary of thinking and pondering and maybe even stressing. If that really resonates with you, if you're very much I've got to figure out what I've got to do now, this thing has gone wrong, what do I do next? Note down number 2 on your paper at the very bottom, but not on your line of 9. If you feel when something goes wrong, this flash of anger go through your gut to make you want to react or move to action, you get annoyed, sorry, there's somebody trying to get in, driving me mad. And you just feel this anger response and you react and you feel a call to action straight away. Well, if that's gone wrong, then let's go and sort it out. Let's go and deal with it. Tell them, you know, they could be quite forceful. So, but there is a type within the anger group that I have to comment on. Now, this type is in the anger group, but they won't recognize this as anger. So if this group, how they express their anger is they won't not necessarily feel that flash of anger and react straight away. This type doesn't like conflict. So even though they're angry and they're annoyed that this has happened, they'll just omit to act. I'll do it later, or yeah, I'll do it, but you know, and then have no intention of doing it whatsoever because you just want to avoid the conflict, but you're not doing it. But you're not going to tell them that because they might shout at you and it might cause an argument. So you just stubbornly omit to act, oh, I forgot, or, sorry, this went wrong and that went wrong and I just couldn't do it. When really inside you weren't going to do it, but you didn't want to show them that because it would cause conflict. Okay, so if that resonates with you, you are in fact on the 3. Choose the 3. Okay, so it's just that the this type doesn't always recognize their anger, so I had to add that little bit in. Right, so you've chosen. I hope that you haven't looked at this before you fully decided which one you are. Now, if you resonate with the 1, circle 2, 3 and 4. If you resonate with 2, circle 5, 6 and 7. And if you resonate with the 3, circle 8, 9 and 1. So now you should have 3 lines of numbers. Now what you should have is, now this is my results when I did the test, okay, is on the first line, I nearly circled 5 as well on that top line, but I felt that it wasn't as strong in me as this one, or the 8, the 7 and the 4. So I circled the 4, the 7 and the 8 first of all, because they were the 3 that resonated with me the most. With the second group, I circled the 3, the 7 and the 8. And the third question, I circled the 1, the 8 and the 9. And what I had was a pattern coming up, which showed that I am an Enneagram Type 8 because I resonate with every point. So that for the first time, I mean, the tests I took before told me I was a 7-wing 8. And where I have got elements of the 7 because I'm an 8-wing 7, because you see those 2 7s there, I'm an 8-wing 7. So I had some resonance with it, but not until I realised that I was actually an 8 Enneagram type did I really realise that all this time I've been focusing just on numerology, which is amazing, but this is an essential element to help someone with their emotional health and their thought processes. Because some people that I know struggle to move forward with their life path and their expression number in numerology because they've got so many emotional issues that they're struggling through. Now, what I found the Enneagram has done for me, and I know will do for you if you are that person and you are struggling, is it will help you understand your core emotions, your core beliefs, and then figure out as you move forward, and I do more videos on the Enneagram, how to notice that that's a part of you, but not think, right, well, that's it then. I'm just that and that's that. No. There are ways to develop through what the Enneagram, people say, I love this line. People say, oh, the Enneagram just puts you in a box. No. What the Enneagram does, it shows you the box that you've already climbed into so that you can climb back out again. I can't remember where I heard that, but that is the best line ever. So the Enneagram shows you the box that you're already in. And then when you know that, there's the way out. It shows you the way out of that box. Okay, so your sheet should look something like that. Now, if it doesn't and your results are unclear, don't panic. Don't think this is the worst test ever. Spend a little bit more time. On 10 to 1, there's a couple of things on that test that you're really not totally sure on, that you need to spend a bit more time on, because I guarantee you when you get these 3 groups correctly fitting with you, the type will shine out. So just take a little bit more time to go through the questions again. Doesn't matter how long it takes you, because this is good personal development. You'll learn loads about yourself just from this act of pondering these questions. Okay, so take your time with it. If your results are unclear, don't get upset. Don't, think, oh, this is rubbish, throw it aside and clutter off. Spend more time pondering each question. Be very honest with yourself. Take your time, analyze yourself, and be really sure that you're choosing the right numbers each time. Okay, and like I said, the self-development just from pondering this is quite incredible. I really hope you like my video. My Soul Urge 8 compatibility video is coming. I'm so sorry it's delayed. I spend a lot of time on my compatibility Soul Urge and spend a lot of time drawing from my intuition. And I've had a lot of other things on lately, as I said earlier, but I'm not going to keep with the excuses. I could have spent more time tonight planning my compatibility video, but I was just so excited about bringing this video to you to start you guys on the path to emotional healing if you so need it. If you like this video, please like this video, subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon to keep yourself up to date with all my latest content. If you want to email me, you can email me at katie@soulexplorer.net, or you can go to my website where you can see some information about numerology. I haven't uploaded any Enneagram stuff yet, but I will be doing so soon. And I have an online shop that I sell my aloe vera health products on. So take a look at that, guys. If you want to contact me on social media, I'm going to put links to my Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn and Twitter in the description box below. I really hope you've enjoyed my video today, guys. And as ever, trust the soul within you, because only your intuition knows best.